Thank you. Thanks, Tito. So yesterday I was messing with the idea of maybe doing a double whale tail, kind of like the old Porsche. So it'll be a fin here going all the way across, a very small fin, and then maybe a bigger fin underneath. Because inside here, I'm going to put all the lights, the running, brake, turn signals, all that. This whole grill is going to be backlit with all my rear running lights. And so I think if it's got a little visor and then maybe another big whale tail, it'll kind of, and by whale tail I mean it's gonna come straight out and tip up just a little bit, so it'll kind of curve. I can't remember what Porsche it was, but there was a Porsche that had a double whale tail, plastic, you know, clip on and all that, but this will be all steel one piece. But I'm trying to tie in and widen this quarter panel with this flying buttress, and then it'll have a window visor here. And then I think to incorporate all the rest and make everything flow, it's going to be necessary to do some type of wing back here. And so I'm thinking the double whale tail will be the best, because then it'll be kind of like a stair step. You'll have the visor and then a small whale tail, and then right under the grill a little bit bigger one. How you doing, Bernard? Yeah, I will. I'll make sure to leave a drainage hole for runoff. I mean, I don't plan on driving it in the rain. It's not going to have windshield wipers or any of that. So, but that said, this part on the bottom tail right here will just be able to flow off. But this part right here in the corner of the sill, I'll definitely, because I want to box this in, it'll definitely have to have a weep hole that'll go through. But that's good because this panel is also hollow and sheet metaled on both sides. So there's a channel inside here. So if for some reason it does happen to get a little bit of moisture, it'll be able to drain. Yeah, my glass will still fit. All the factory glass will go right back in, no problem. The way you install the glass is I'll install it from the outside, and it will tuck the factory glass will tuck under the visor and set in, and then from the inside I'll pull the rope, and there's still plenty of room to smack it and get the sill to set. I'm not worried about the glass at all. This is a fully custom 1967 Volkswagen Beetle, highly modified. Stretched and dropped front beam, 16-inch track tires in the back, visor vented, hood scoop to hide the headlights, reverse hinge, front hood like this. Lambo doors, disc brakes, airbags. Thanks, Bernard. I'll check those out as soon as I get off live. Yeah, Jersey J, tons of hours. It's about a year and a half in my free time, so that's about 8 hours a week on average. Bernard says they're kind of rough. That's fine. I'm an artist. I can see what you're doing, if that makes sense. You can add fiberglass resin with the hardener to Bondo to make glazing putty. Use about 3% or just use the same amount of Bondo hardener as the resin. That's interesting. I did not know that. Typically I do fiber bond, so it's already a fiberglass hybrid Bondo. For all of my weld seams, because that's waterproof and it will plug any pinholes, so the Bondo won't lift, and then I'll float the rest out with Bondo. What's up, Cuba? Kitty hair? Yeah, no, what I think he's saying is that he's saying you can hand mix your own fiber bond, is what he's saying. You can make your own instead of buying it. I just buy it pre-made. It's green. It's really tough. Like I said, it's waterproof. Bondo is not. That is a misconception a lot of people have, is that Bondo will seal things. No, it doesn't. Yeah, how to make your glazing putty. Yeah, I don't know specifically what's the difference between a glazing putty and the fiber bond. So I can't tell you because I don't know. But I know fiber bond works. Play music. No. I don't play music for a couple of reasons. One, I'm using my phone to live stream on both YouTube and TikTok at the same time, 2 different phones. And I can't play music at the same time. On top of that, I enjoy music, not while I'm working. I like to focus. on what I'm doing. I'm literally designing, engineering, and hand fabricating every piece, and it takes a lot of focus, especially from somebody like me. You know, other people can work efficiently and flawlessly with noise. I can't. Yeah, what's up, Austin? I think I'm definitely going to remove these inner ribs inside here and go with this as my top. I just have to figure out how to transition that from here to here without having those ribs. What do you think about the double whale tail, Bernard? Motor and trans. The trans is already in, but these are trans axles. So in order for the tire to be on, the transmission is in. And it's a built Pro Street swing axle, modified and reinforced for the big race engine that I'll be building, which is going to be a 2276cc air-cooled Volkswagen engine mounted in the back, 4-cylinder boxer style, if you don't know about Volkswagens. When do I think I'm done? Hopefully I'll be doing bodywork and paint next summer. I going to use the H piston rods? I would have to look back through my parts. I can't remember if they're I or H. So Cyber Lucifer. Am I going to turbo the car? So I'm building the engine prepped for up to 10 pounds of boost. I can't afford the twin turbos right now. And if I go turbo, I want twin turbos just for symmetry and aesthetics versus a single. What ECU setup? Right now, none. It'll be in a carbureted dual carbs. When I get the turbos, I'm going to go with the CB Performance twin turbo setup. What's up, Brazil? Text it now. I'll be building a 2276 cc stroker, V-dub, air cooled, prepped out for twin turbos. Thanks, Johnny Carpenter. I really appreciate that. I don't remember all the numbers, but the stock motor makes 214 horsepower. What stock motor? The stock 1600 dual port is only 40 horsepower, or I think it's 50 brake horsepower, but it's 40 to the wheel. The 2276 with, yeah, text it now, 50 horsepower, but that's brake, not at the tire. There's a difference, but yeah, it was advertised as 50 horsepower. And power to weight ratio is awesome. I'm hoping to keep this around 1,800 pounds. I've been very conscious of what I've cut away versus what I'm putting back. And I will be heavier than stock because the air ride and all the other stuff, tires and everything, but I've been trying to keep it within 150 pounds over stock weight. But the engine that I'm building, the 2276, with the parts that I've picked and the carburetor setup that I'm going with, I should be around 200 horsepower. Realistically, it's probably going to be a little bit less than that because I'm not running 48 mil carburetors. I'll be running 40 mil to get more torque to turn these big tires. Yeah, it'll be dual carbs, dual 40 mils, ported polished intakes, all that. Big valves, big cam. I'll be running a FK8. It's got a 534 lift and I think it's like 610 duration or something like that. I'd have to look over the papers again. As soon as I'm done with all the body modification, fabrication, then I'll get into the plumbing and wiring, and then I'll build the engine. And hopefully I'll have all that done to be able to start bodywork and paint next summer. Check CRE precision for valves and seats. You'll thank me. I've already got prepped out dual port with valves, big heads. I think I can't remember. I think they're either 45, 35, or it's something close to that. No, not a Subaru engine, Volkswagen engine, all the way, every time. Premium Ginger, what's going on? Oh, you getting ready to lay primer on the engine bay? Fuck yeah. What state am I in? I'm in Idaho. This is what's left of a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. Highly modified, every piece. Airbagged, 16-inch wide track tires, sidewall to sidewall. Disc brake conversion, Lambo doors, vented visor. I mean, wide body. But the focus now is exactly how to widen the rear end, the quarter panels, and the roof. I need more. So this is kind of what I got so far. It'll swoop down. You can kind of see the angles right there. So this will all be sheeted in sheet metal, this whole framework. It'll be open and pass through right here to back here. But there'll be a small visor, I guess you could call it, right here, or a rain guard over the window, and then this will attach to the fender. Will I put vents there too? No, it's going to be a flying buttress. It'll be a complete pass-through. So this will be sheeted, and we got a little visual aid. That helps it show up better on camera. So this part right there, you can see all this will be sheeted to here, and this part will stay open. So you can see right here is the opening. As well as all this will be a solid visor, sheet metal, and then double whale tail. I mean, maybe I can get a piece of paper on there and you guys can see it a little bit better. So it'll be like a tunnel. Yeah, it'll be just like a tunnel. It's called a flying buttress. One of my subscribers taught me that. I didn't know what it was called. I'm just trying to make it look cool. They do serve a purpose in some vehicles. On this one it won't. It's pure aesthetics. No pop-out windows. You know, maybe we can, here, let's peel this off. Save that. Save that. I got a sheet of paper right here. Now this is a pretty rough mock-up, but you can kind of get the idea. Of what's going on. So see how you'll be able to see through it. And again, that's a very rough mock-up. I don't know if that helped or hurt the vision, but I haven't figured out how to finish the top yet. I'm still working on the sides. Thanks, Robert. Yeah, I'll definitely check those out, Bernard. As soon as I get off here, I'll look at your sketches. I really appreciate you, spending the time to do that. Let's close this door. Yeah, as far as the spheres go, I think I'm going to end up with one right here. And then I'll somehow curve it back in to the scoop. For me, it's easier to see without the paper, but let's see. Is it going to force air down into the motor to cool it? No, the engine bay is completely cut out, and the motor will be fully exposed, so I don't need to cool it. It's pure aesthetics and proportions. No V8. Yeah, type 1. Bernard says, I was thinking about that myself. I think you should have a couple spears, yeah, but have them a bit thicker and shorter for the snorkel to blend into the rear visor panel. Yeah, exactly. again, for me, it's easier to see what it's going to look like this way, but I understand that it's kind of hard to see on camera. Yesterday I added a shelf to my welding cart. So I have my hand plasma cutter up on here now. Just something simple, sturdy. It's something that's been on my list that I've been putting off for a long time. Because I do have the CNC plasma table, but sometimes you need to use a plasma cutter by hand, you know, and then I would have to unbury it from under the plasma table, get it plugged in, hooked up, all that, and now it's part of my welding cart. So I was pretty excited about that. It always feels good to accomplish things that have been on your list for a long time. What do we got? Just scrolled on. What is the wire exoskeleton thing to build out the body? Yes, that's exactly what it is. I'm going to be widening the rear quarter panel and the roof line in the back. You know, most people chop the top and shorten it. I'm raising the roof. This is a personal build for me and my brand. I would like to open up a shop and be able to do commissioned work. So I'm building this to showcase my talent, what I'm capable of, to hopefully drive and bring in business so that I can do this full time. I'm in Idaho, Damon. Am I using the stock fuel tank or a fuel cell? I have both. So ideally I would like to put the stock tank right back in. Obviously, because I've cut the whole front of the car out and I've stretched the car and dropped the body, it won't be able to go back in the same exact spot. I'll have to build some kind of a raised platform for it to set in, because right now if you set the gas tank in there, it would hit the front beam, the tie rods, and everything else. So I'd have to raise the gas tank up back to where the factory height was before I dropped the body. And if I can fit the original in, that's the one I'm going to use. If not, I do have a 5-gallon fuel cell, just a pill cell like you put on a drag car or a T-bucket or something like that, just in case. What's up, Thomas? How do I shape the metal? Pounding it. Various ways, yeah. But pounding it seems to be the go-to most of the time. Hammer, dolly, the old school ways. I am pretty excited, and I have a English wheel coming in a couple weeks. I've already ordered it. Again, I don't know where I'm gonna put it. I'm out of room. I don't know how big this garage looks on camera, but in real life it is tiny. So I pretty much have, 2 foot, 4 foot right here, because I have the car pushed a little bit that way, 2 foot on the other side to work in. But yeah, sandbag, I've got that over here underneath the plenishing hammer right there. There's a sandbag on that cart, and then I have the English wheel coming. So I think between all of those, I can start shaping panels better than I have been. Like, the reason why the rear fenders are plated like that is because at the time I didn't have anything to shape them with. So with the knowledge and the tools that I had when I made those, that was the best I could come up with to get the desired end result. What English wheel am I getting? So when I bought the plenishing hammer back here, that big tan or gray C right there on the cart, when I bought that from Clutch. It's a company. What I found out is that they rebrand import tools, okay? So I did some digging and some research and found out where they get their tools from, which is obviously an imported product, okay? It's not from here, America. I found where they get theirs, and that was the only reason I bought the English wheel. I don't have room for it. I don't know how to use it. I mean, I want to, but it's very tight in here, so I'm gonna essentially have to get rid of something that's in here and put it somewhere else, outside or somewhere, so that I can get it in here. But I bought it because when I looked up where they get their stuff, for me to get the English wheel from Clutch, the same exact one, it was gonna be, I think, $1,500 with all the dies and the stand. Okay, is it the best English wheel out there? No, absolutely not. It is one of the cheaper ones you can get, but I'm a fabricator, so I can reinforce the frame to minimize flex, which is the big issue with the cheap ones. Okay, so modifying it's not a big deal to me. I have steel, I have a welder, I understand how things need to be engineered and function, so I can fix it. But again, clutch for the same exact wheel, but with the clutch sticker, they're going to charge me $1,500. I found it from where they buy it, and they're sending it directly to my house with shipping for $700. So with all the dies and the stand, not all the dies, but I think I get like 6 or 8 different radius dies and a flat die. So to me, I could not pass that up, you know. It was so cheap in comparison. Because even if you go buy the Harbor Freight English wheel, it needs to be modified and reinforced, okay? And Harbor Freight doesn't sell them with the dies, so then you buy the dies separate, and the dies are the expensive part. They're like around 200 a piece, give or take. You know, that's just a average number. So then you get 6 dies, you know, at 200 a piece, plus the original 250 for the Harbor Freight, plus you need to modify it, so you have steel, time, consumables, all that factors in. And so to get one ready to go that I just have to weld a couple more gussets and supports on for $700, it blew my mind, so I bought it. And I'm just gonna have to figure out where to put it. So I think what I'm gonna do is my soda blasting cabinet over here. I think what I'm gonna do, because that's a fully enclosed, air watertight, because I sealed it, all the seams on the inside. That's a completely enclosed and sealed unit. So I think what I'm gonna do is set that outside, and I'll run a airline and punch through my garage wall, so I can plug it back into air and power. I'll put power. I'm a, you know, journeyman electrician, so power's not a big deal. I can make that happen. I mean, I've got, you can see my double duplex outlets. I have them, you know, there's multiple circuits in here. I can jump off of any of them and make it happen. I'm in Idaho. What's up, Morocco? Do I create sketches for my work? No. And that's just mostly because I don't specifically know what I'm building. It tells me how to build it as I'm building it. So it changes constantly. I start off with a general idea, and I have a very certain distinctive style that I like things to look like. And so the combination of those two things, with the physical building it and looking at the symmetry and the proportions, and again, I like everything proportioned a very certain way, for what I think looks cool. So it just kind of flows, and it just builds itself while I'm building it. Then on the engineering aspect, you know, it's you do one modification and it causes you to do another one to hide it. So I wanted the Lambo door on here, and I wanted to do the Lambo door in a way that nobody's done yet. Nobody has a fully movable faux quarter panel that's attached to the door so that you get full range of motion out of the Lambo door. So it's a very different way of doing it, and I don't think a lot of people realize that, just because they've never done them, you know. And in order to do that, I had to get rid of the hood hinges, because the hood hinges tucked inside the quarter panels, and obviously that won't fit, because I had to build an entire subframe inside here to hold the Lambo door hinge, because these are unibody or pan on body things, so there's nowhere to attach the hinge to except for the sheet metal body. So I had to build a frame inside there to mount the hinge to. And so then I had to reverse hinge the front, because I still have to get in here to put gas in and check my air tanks and electronics and all that's going up here. So again, you know, making one modification caused me to make several other modifications just so everything could function. Damon Mack, do you have any other social media platforms like YouTube? Yes. I have TikTok, YouTube. I do have a Instagram, but it's about 10 months behind. I got locked out of it for a while. It's a long story, but I just kind of gave up on it. But right now I'm live streaming to TikTok and YouTube at the same time. Soon I'll be starting a Stitch that will be a subscriber base only, and I will be building live. On here I don't build live. I post videos and then I do lives to answer questions and interact with you guys, but I typically don't work during a live. Sometimes a little thing, a tack or a move here on a piece as we discuss it, but for the most part I don't fabricate live. But I hope sometime in the near future that my Stitch will be all live building the entire time. You just have to buy a subscription to watch it. Because it's really hard for me to multitask, to interact with you guys, answer comments, and focus, design, engineer, and build at the same time. So that's why I don't build live, but I would like to try and get into it. But on Stitch, I don't have to answer comments. You guys can just watch. And if I get to it between parts or the process or whatever, then I'll answer comments. But for the most part, I'll just be working. Josh Jones, what are you doing to the bug? Everything. Stretched and dropped body, Lambo doors, reverse hinge front hood, vented visor, 16-inch wide track slicks, hand fabricated wide body. I mean, everything. You got any other cars that you've built? No, this is the first car I've ever built. So I'm about 1.5 years into it now. I've built a lot of motorcycles, a lot of custom bikes, you know, stretched, dropped, all of it. And now I'm leaning more into small cars. There's a lot more real estate and artistic freedom in small cars versus a motorcycle. Motorcycles just got to the point to where they were simple, and I like a challenge. So why does TikTok keep trying to kick me off like I'm not here? So ridiculous. Show the back. Yeah, we can look at the back. I think it's kind of hard to see on film or on, you know, the camera, but you can see some of the buck framework that's happening, and this will all be sheeted. So it'll have a rear window visor right here. Double whale tail, I think. I'm still deciding on that. And then this flying buttress that's gonna go and widen the rear quarter panel 6.5 inches, I think it is. And then I'll be raising the roof up. You can see right there, 2.5 inches. And it's gonna tie in to a snorkel right there. So all this will be raised up. And then it'll have some kind of grill or lights or something, one piece at a time. We're starting down here and then working my way around the car. What kind of motor are you putting in? I'm building a race engine. It'll be a 2276cc air-cooled Volkswagen engine. Around 200 horsepower, and the car will weigh around 1,800 pounds. A functional snorkel, no. As far as like air induction or, you know, forced air or anything like that, no. It's pure aesthetics. The tires I put on the back are 16 inches wide, sidewall to sidewall. They're massive. And I did not tub the car. I went out, so the wheelbase has been widened a foot in the rear. And in doing that, the tires stick out too far from the body. The body is too small. So it's like Dumbo ears on the back of the car. So I'm widening the back of the car to fill up some of that space. Is this bad, Chad? No, it's not. Yeah, it's tons of work. Hours and hours and days. Will it have enough torque for those massive tires? Absolutely. They put big paddle tires on here for, you know, sand and everything that are about the same size. They're taller than these, but they're typically about 31 inches. These are only 27 inches tall. But that's why I'm choking down the carburetors on the 2276 from 48 mils, which is the max the motor can handle, down to 40 mil. Because when you choke a carburetor down and you make the venturi smaller, you lose horsepower, but you gain torque. That's why I'm going to go with the 40s over the 48s. I don't care about going fast. I need to pull off the line to turn these big tires. You could use the back side panels to force air in through the back window and into the engine bay. Again, there is no engine bay. It's all cut out. It's gone. The engine will be fully exposed, freestanding, mounted to the transmission. No bottom pan, no side skirts, no deck lid, nothing. Completely exposed. So airflow is a non-issue. It will have plenty of airflow all the way around it. Yeah, Josh, it is a labor of love. You know, this is my passion. This is pretty much the only thing I enjoy doing fully. I mean, getting new tools, learning new skills, different ways to fabricate and make and design different things is part of it. I would say the building is the end result. All the work that goes into knowing how to build it is the part that I enjoy the most. The process versus the product, which so far has made me extremely successful at it. Will it have front fenders? As of right now, no. I like the open wheel, narrow, wedge nose look. Now, by the time I'm done widening the rear, raising the roof, and all of that, if I think it needs front fenders to tie it together, then I'll build some. If not, I want to run it open wheel, which is also why I'll be spraying the main body with satin black truck bed liner, tough shell, so I don't have to worry about rocks and chip and paint and all that with the open wheels. The Raptor liner will be able to handle all that abuse, no problem. Yeah, I like it without them too, you know? But at the end of the day, when the rest of the body's done, if I don't feel that it looks the certain way I think it should look, then I'll build fenders for it. Thanks, Coffin. He said it's going to be the coolest shit ever. I agree. That's the entire point. I want it to be different so that when people see it, they know it's a Berzerker car. They know it's my car. They know I designed it, I built it. I mean, you can see how far it's been stretched in the front, you know. The tires stick out farther than the hood does. What engine? I'll be building a 2276cc stroker air-cooled Volkswagen engine. Alright guys, I'm going to get off here for today. I'll see you next Sunday. Narrowed beam in front. No, it's not narrowed. The wheelbase has been widened. But I'll see you guys next Sunday. I'm live every Sunday. I typically post new videos every Sunday. The merch store is open. If you want to get a t-shirt or something, link is under my bio. Go check it out. and I'll see you guys next Sunday.